You're watching Port Charles on KMTV 11.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay, what do you think of this one? The gray? This? What?
Well, I always like you in blue.
Okay, well, I know I've changed 3 times. You know, I just think it's very important to wear the right thing. I mean, I know the judge will never give Christina Julie in a million years, but I just, you know, I want to be right, and no matter what I'm wearing, I know it'll turn out right. It's just
Lucy,
important.
listen to me, all right? I've got some really bad news.
What now? What is it?
You can't come to the hearing with me.
What are you talking about?
Well, that was, Lee on the phone. Only the people that are involved, you know, immediately involved here and their attorneys, that's it that can be there.
I see, so I have no legal claim on Christina, so I am not immediately, directly involved.
Listen, I'm so sorry, okay? Now, we both know Julie doesn't have a leg to stand on. This is going to be over and nothing flat, I promise you, okay? Listen, I'll call you as soon as I hear anything. All right, bye.
Yes, hello?
Lucy?
Oh, Doc, I am so very glad you called.
What happened?
Oh, boy, let's see. Where would I start there?
I'm guessing you could use a friend.
That would be a very, very good place to start.
No, if it's true, it would definitely work in our favor.
Oh, believe me, it's true.
Well, the one you've got to convince is the judge, and unless we've got solid proof, I don't know how you're going to do that.
We'll definitely have proof. You just keep the hearing going until Chris gets here.
What do you want, Chris?
I wanted to thank you for scheduling me today when you knew it was Julie's hearing.
I did the schedule before I even thought there'd be a hearing. But thanks for the idea.
Dr. Wright, ICU.
Denise, can you sort those out for me? I'm gonna go to the on-call room, grab a shower.
Yeah. Well, I guess we know who the boss is.
We'll see.
Thanks. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No, not at all. Actually, I'm glad you came. I didn't like the way you sounded before.
Well, it's just that old universe again. You know, it's a little bit... It's completely out of sync, and Scott didn't help matters.
You're talking about that fancy footwork he pulled with Christina's adoption. He told me.
Well, then you know that I have no right to her.
Yes, you do.
But, Doc, you know, that judge there, he's not going to consider anything that I feel because I am not there to tell him how I feel and express my feelings.
And the wheels of justice grind on, and if it's any consolation, I think it's unconscionable.
You're right. You're darn right. You're absolutely right. I am her mother, and I should be there to express what I feel, and I'm not because of Scott. It's his fault.
I don't condone what Scott did, but I do think, no, I believe that in his own lunatic fashion, he was thinking of you.
I know. It's just I'm so scared. I just see the whole thing happening again, you know. I've been through this, Doc, you know. All the praying and hoping for a baby, I've been through this before, and I thought losing Serena was going to be the worst thing that ever happened to me, and then BJ dying, and then you and me, we lost our baby. And it's just, I thought this time that my hopes and prayers had all been answered. She was mine, and I was going to raise her, and now I just see the whole thing crumbling down, and it's all falling in, and I can't go through it again. I just can't, and I need to ask you, what do? I don't know what to do.
You're going to fight. And you're going to keep fighting, and I'm going to be there to help you. I promise, Lucy.
Oh, Doc. Thank you. I knew I could count on you.
Hey, I got a critical cake question. Oh. Is this a bad time?
No. It was a very bad time, but I'm fine now thanks to this guy.
Yeah, well, he has that effect on me.
I hope you know how lucky you are.
Well, that's what I keep telling her anyway.
Okay, I gotta go. I need to go. Okay.
You will call me if anything changes?
You will be the first person I call.
Promise?
Yeah, I promise.
This hearing is to establish whether or not there is sufficient cause for Julie Ramsey to contest the adoption of Christina Gale Baldwin to Scott Baldwin. I've read your statements. If either party has anything to add, now's the time.
Your Honor, yes, I would like to impress on you that Scott Baldwin did everything legally required and more to locate Christina's mother before he attempted to adopt her.
A search Mrs. Ramsey knew about, according to this.
Well, that's right, Your Honor. And yet she failed to come forward.
Your Honor, there are extenuating circumstances. My client was incarcerated at the time, wrongly, I might add, and was unable to come forward.
She was in a mental institute.
I had been brainwashed.
You chose not to come forward. Now that shows you what kind of a mother she is.
Your Honor, what my co-counsel astutely points out here is that Mrs. Ramsey could have had the baby at Ferncliff and allowed it to be raised by a foster family until such time as she was released.
She abandoned her child.
That is not true. I love my daughter, and I want her back.
Not only do you have no rights or claims to Christina, you don't deserve to call yourself her mother.
How dare you say that I am not a good mother? You don't know what I went through.
I don't have to say it. Your actions prove
Order, Mr. Baldwin, and I mean it.
Your Honor, Christina means more to me than anything in this world. Everything I have done was to keep her safe until I could get her back.
You could have said she was yours right from the beginning.
Mr. Baldwin, this is not a free-for-all. The issue here is whether there's grounds for the adoption to be rescinded.
Your Honor, we contend there aren't.
And we assert that the birth mother coming forward is more than enough grounds, Your Honor.
The court feels very strongly that children do belong with their birth parents when possible. However, we're charged first with the welfare of the child. Uprooting Christina from the only home she's ever known is something we do not take lightly.
Your Honor, what if that home poses a threat to the welfare of the child?
The hell are you talking about?
Last New Year's Eve, the Baldwins allowed Christina to wander alone, outside, unattended. Now, she would have died in the extreme cold if Mrs. Ramsey hadn't come along and rescued her.
Come along? What are you talking about? She escaped from a prison van. She was trying to kidnap Christina. Had Lucy not come along and caught her...
Mr. Baldwin,
A moment, Your Honor, please.
get your client under control, counsel.
Look, the evidence is on our side. Now, let's not blow it by losing our temper.
Look at her twisting things around here. Any idiot could see that Christina belongs with us.
Try not to say that to the judge, will you? She'll come to that conclusion. She doesn't throw you out of here first. Scott.
Your Honor, it was my understanding that only people directly involved were allowed in the hearing.
Dr. Ramsey, you'll have to wait outside.
No problem, Your Honor.
Mr. Barrows, I'm well aware of the New Year's Eve incident. The Baldwins made no effort to conceal it.
Surely, Your Honor, it must concern you.
What concerns me is that Mrs. Ramsey had the child in her arms that night and still refused to speak when she knew that the Baldwins were about to legally adopt her child. Hence, I'm inclined to rule that there are no grounds to have this adoption rescinded.
Go on. Do it.
Your Honor, with all due respect, we still assert that Scott Baldwin is not the responsible parent that he pretends to be. Yesterday, he left Christina in the care of his eldest daughter, a known drug abuser.
Your Honor, my daughter Karen has been clean for years.
We have indisputable proof that this woman is using drugs again.
Hey, Lucy. Hey, hi. How's Christina doing? How's her head?
Oh, she's fine. Really, it's no big deal. Just a little cut, you know.
You know how awful I feel? I mean,
I know, Karen, please don't say anything more. Really, I know you would never intentionally let her get hurt or do anything to hurt her. Don't worry.
So, hey, listen, what are you doing here? Isn't the hearing this morning?
Look, apparently, just official parents, you know. I'm not official, and so I'm not allowed to go there, the judge said.
Well, you know what? You will be. Scott is too good of a lawyer to let anyone take Christina.
You're right, he is the best.
It's just this new case he's considering. It's really a challenge.
Which new case?
The cancer patient, the one fighting to be able to go home to die.
Boy, that could be a really big case, you know. What was the name again?
Claire Wright. So sad. But hey, listen, do you want to go grab some tea?
No,
no,
thank you. You know what, I should do something right now, but another time, okay? Okay.
But you know what? You have me and everybody else pulling for you.
Oh, Karen, thank you. It really means a lot.
Well, if it comes to a court battle, I'm ready to testify.
To what?
That Julie isn't fit to be a mother, that's what. That she lied about her pregnancy, she went to extremes to hide it, and then not only stood by while Scott adopted Christina, she just watched while he and Lucy fell in love with that baby.
I'm not sure it's fair for us to expect her to have acted normally under the circumstances. I mean, when you're faced with possibly losing your child, you get a little desperate.
I understand, like you were.
Yeah. I thought I was going to go crazy when DV told me my child might still be alive.
And I can appreciate your empathizing with Julie, but I know from experience there's a big difference between someone who gets caught up in their emotions and someone who makes calculated decisions.
And I know from my experience that sometimes people who seem to be very stable are not under these circumstances.
Are you saying we should forgive Julie? That she deserves to have Christina?
Your Honor, yesterday, Dr. Karen Wexler phoned in a prescription for amphetamines for a patient. Amphetamines which were delivered to the Baldwin home while she was caring for Christina.
Oh, Your Honor, that doesn't mean she was taking them.
Well, how do you logically explain that her patient moved out of state 2 months ago?
This is a witch hunt.
The welfare of a child is at stake. Now, I urge you to settle the matter by having Dr. Wexler undergo a blood test to determine whether or not she's using drugs.
Come on, this is a stalling tactic, Your Honor.
I agree with Mr. Barrows. The welfare of the child comes first. I'm going to order the blood test. If it turns out that Mr. Baldwin did entrust the child to someone of questionable character, that would be grounds to consider the adoption be rescinded.
Your Honor.
This hearing is adjourned.
Scott, this is only going to help our case and hurt theirs once those tests come back clean.
Let's get out of here.
Scott, I didn't want to have to do this to Karen.
Yeah, right.
You didn't leave me any choice. If you left my daughter with someone who's using drugs...
Karen is not using drugs, all right? That's going to be proven. So your little fishing expedition got you nothing.
Destiny in Landview.
Something's wrong. He could be dying.
Lives hang in the balance.
Well, I'm not going to let anything happen to you.
Who's there?
Is she an illusion?
Nora, where are we?
Come on, Will, stay with me.
Or a guide to the other side?
Nora, take my hand. We'll go together.
Emmy nominated One Life to Live, ABC Daytime.
I know Scott didn't believe me, but I hate what we did to Karen.
You put Christina first.
And what if Scott and Lucy don't? What if they let Karen babysit her again?
Trust me. Once Scott finds out Karen's been popping speed, he won't let her near Christina.
Yeah, well, they have been good parents. Which is why getting her back is going to be so difficult.
No, it was going to be difficult. Hey, what we have on Karen changes everything.
Maybe. Maybe things are finally starting to turn around for us. So, you didn't answer my question.
What question?
Top of the cake. Bride and groom or doves?
Doves.
Really?
Really? Now, are you ever going to answer mine?
All right. All I'm saying is that I can understand Julie's side. Can't you? Just a little...
Knowing all the pain that this is causing? No, I can't.
All right, you know what? This is Lucy and Scott's battle. Let's not make it World War III between us.
That's the best idea you've had since proposing. I'm sorry.
Me too.
I am Lucy Baldwin, Scott's wife. I was wondering if maybe we could just talk for a few minutes.
What about?
Well, I understand Scott is perhaps going to represent you.
Look, if you're here to try to talk me out of it, I don't waste my time.
I'm just here because I wanted to tell you I'm not sure Scott is the best person to fight for you. You see, we're involved in a very personal crisis of our own. In fact, it could jeopardize our whole entire family. I guess he told you probably, huh?
Oh, I'm so sorry he didn't.
Oh, boy, he wouldn't. You know, he's that kind of guy. He's just so generous and selfless, and he wants to help everybody, even when it is not possible.
Well, he hasn't exactly committed to my case.
But he will. I know he's going to say yes. That's just the kind of guy he is, but I'm afraid that if he does, you might be shortchanged, even though that would never be his intention.
No, of course not.
So could you be a little patient?
My case is kind of timely.
That's why I think you really need someone full-time. I hope you don't mind, but I took the liberty of writing a list down of all the attorneys I know that would understand your situation. They're very kind and loving and giving attorneys. Perhaps they could help.
They're not your husband.
It's just, I really, truly believe this would be best for everyone.
Hey, Karen, a minute?
Yeah, come on in. So, hey, how's the hearing go?
Well, I gotta talk to you about something.
It's not bad news, is it?
Chris and Julie are using your past drug problems to, say that I'm an unfit parent.
Boy, they're really reaching.
Yeah, that's what Lee and I thought. However, they've convinced the judge to, order a test.
I'm being ordered to give a sample?
The sooner we get it done, the sooner we...
Look, I am telling you, I am not doing drugs. That should be enough.
Hey, Karen, I know that, but, you know, the courts, they always want proof.
Then, Scott, you have to find some other way to convince the courts, all right? Because I am not about to take a drug test.
Stay tuned for scenes from the next Port Charles.
On the next Port Charles.
Is it true what they said in court? Are you back on drugs?
Why do you take everything I do and say so personally? Maybe it's time you learn a little something about me.
Someone is threatening to kill me.
Visit the official site of the Daytime Emmys at abc.com, part of the Go Network.